Hello and welcome to the H2 Sage Dewar sizing app that's available online now. I'm going to walk you through a few things very quickly on it. First of all, information at the h2sage.com website where there's lots of resources. So I'll open that up real quickly. Um, you can see that this is the new tool now that's available on there, as well as lots of other things, courses, informational briefings on various topics related to liquid hydrogen and hydrogen in general, cryogenic fluid management, LH2 era blog, the Global Liquid Hydrogen LinkedIn Systems Group, connections to those, as well as other resources that are of general use for hydrogen systems development. So let's go back to that app. And you can see here we have fluid selection. I've got para-hydrogen for the liquid hydrogen Dewar sizing. I've also included nitrogen in here so that you can design your nitrogen liquid hydrogen Dewar tank, which is often used for cold chocks and checkouts of various systems, as well as checking the density and the load so that you maybe only partially fill your hydrogen tank when you're doing your checkout. So that's useful for that. But I'm just going to show the para-hydrogen for now. Storage pressure, this is the long-term storage pressure you're intended to store or you're planning to store your fluid at. It goes from 1 up to 5 bar. You generally lower than 5 bar on it. And again, this is storage pressure, not your maximum expected operating pressure. The purpose of this is to set the saturation conditions in the tank so that you're always below your maximum fill level. And that's the next piece here, maximum volumetric fill. 95 is the highest, 90% is the lowest on this particular input. 90% is pretty common for stationary. Up to 95% has been used in aerospace vehicles and other mobility applications. Your minimum residual liquid volume is how much volume of liquid you leave in the tank during operation so that you don't have to chill it down from ambient temperatures. Usually the only time you totally drain the tank is if you're taking it out of service for maintenance or repairs or what have you. So I've got this set now. You can go down to 0 if you are going to look at it for purposes of maintenance and repair, but up to about 5%, but you're typically going to be lower than that for your residual volumes. And then finally, internal components, which are difficult to predict when you're in the initial concept phases. So I put it in here in terms of the amount of total volume of the tank that are taken up by internal components. So this would be things like liquid level probes, maybe mixers, fill drain lines, that sort of thing. So typically low, but there's a range here that you can select. You'll notice that the liquid temperature and the liquid density is given as outputs here. This is based on that fluid selection, of course, and then that storage pressure. So these are the saturation temperature and saturation density, which is then used to calculate the usable liquid. So going now on the intervessel capacity inputs, you can first set the diameter, so you can go up and down in diameter, and it automatically updates the three-dimensional rendering of that. You can increase the cylinder length. Now, of course, you could go down to 0 if you want it to be a sphere, if you're looking at a sphere, and then you can take a look at that. But for a lot of applications, you're probably going to be doing something with a cylindrical shape that has heads or ends on it, either hemispherical, which is shown here, or you can put in elliptical 2-to-1 elliptical heads, which gives you a flatter kind of profile there, can fit more volume in for a shorter overall length of the cylinder. However, you do have to have a more thickness for these elliptical heads than you do for hemispherical heads, but it's on the order of the thickness of the cylindrical portion in any case, but there is a mass trade-off there. It is cheaper to make the elliptical heads as well, so there's also a fabrication cost, at least for metals. The main output, of course, then is the usable liquid. So this takes into account all the properties as well as those unusable parts of the internal volume from residuals that are left and internal components, and then your haulage that you have to keep, which is basically the 1 minus that volumetric fill level. So as you can see, I've already been playing with it a little bit. You can rotate this 3D image, take a look at it, make sure review it, make sure it has the form factor you were looking for. You can download it, any of the views as an image. You can also zoom in and pan and do other things that you typically do, these kind of 3D renderings. You can also go to full screen, which is helpful if you really want to take a closer look at it. Now, if I go down towards the bottom here, there's also included here user notes. You can put in notes with the date, let's say in username, scenarios, other results that you've run. Maybe if you're looking at quick trades, you can put all of that in here, and it is retained as long as you don't refresh or close out the browser tab. So that's available to you. And that comes in handy if you want to use one of the features that's up here, top right, the menu under the three dots. You can do a variety of things. You can rerun, which doesn't change any of the inputs. It just sets the default back to the original viewing perspective. But all your inputs remain the same, including any user notes. If we had put user notes in here, those would stay the same as well. Then I'll just demonstrate that with the notes. Then under settings, you can put in you can make it a little bit narrower if you want, or keep it at wide mode. You can go dark or light if you like dark themed background. I'll leave it on light for now for the rest of this quick demo. And then you can print, which gives you a PDF, and including those notes that you put in. So this is a good way to document anything that you're running in terms of trades or quick conceptual studies of the intervessel capacity. And of course, you can do a hard copy as well. The final selection I'm using currently, which is, and it's available to any user, you can do a screencast. So you can go through a number of different scenarios that you want to look at and have a video of it and then share it or do whatever you'd like with it. So that's kind of a quick run through of all those features. I'll show you the full screen here, maybe close out with that, and you can take a look at it. Feel free to try it out. Again, h2sage.com. That's h2sage.com. Thanks for listening.